1,308 days on your halving. Fear and greed sitting at 30, which is fear, and Bitcoin is currently trading at the 61.3k. Finally, we had a breakout out of the downtrend resistance in a 4-hour time frame. It was kind of a downtrend wedge, so we had a successful breakout out of this. Currently, we're trying to have a breakout, a confirmation out of the 200 EMA on a 4-hour time frame, which is pretty important. So yeah, in general, 4-hour time frame is finally looking bullish. And daily time frame, again, finally we're trading above the 200 EMA. It's pretty good trading there currently for us. 50 EMA on a daily time frame is working as a resistance, and obviously we're kind of trading slightly in the middle of the falling channel on a daily time frame, slightly above it by just some couple points there. But again, still pretty nice to see this type of a bullish momentum that is happening on a Bitcoin. So let's move to the weekly time frame. Again, second day of the week, second day of this candle, and we're already having some performance there. Currently, we're having some resistance on the weekly time frame, which is 20 EMA. That is slightly sitting at the top of the current weekly candle. Again, we're still trading below the previous top of the previous candle, weekly candle. So that's pretty, we need to have a breakout out of this to have like bullish momentum when it comes to the candles. And obviously, weekly time frame is trying to start flipping to the green side, finishing the oversold zone on weekly time frame. Monthly time frame, again, not that big of a changes happening there. Still, when it comes to the candles, looking bullish, looking even more bullish than obviously yesterday, but it's pretty nice. When it comes to the MACD, no changes there, still looking as a pretty bearish sentiment when it comes to the monthly MACD. So yeah, again, we're gonna be keeping an eye on the falling channel, which is currently the main thing for us to watch is a daily time frame falling channel, and obviously additional resistances, which is currently for us would be 100 EMA and 50 EMA. 200 EMA, finally we had a breakout, and 20 EMA is pretty small. It's pretty small EMA for a daily time frame to have some changes there. So yeah, let's move on to Ethereum. Again, Ethereum is also having some pump. It's not having that big of a correlation compared to the Bitcoin, especially it's pretty visible on Ethereum Bitcoin pair. You can see that Ethereum Bitcoin pair is slightly going down again, trying to move towards the bottom of the falling wedge that we're having on Ethereum Bitcoin pair. And obviously because of that, Ethereum dominance is slightly shifting to the downside, and Bitcoin dominance is finally having some pump after a recent couple of days of pullback that we had after the fake out of the resistance, 57.5% resistance. We had like a fake out there, but again we had a pullback after that, and now currently Bitcoin dominance trading at a 57.2%, still trying to have a breakout again. 57.5% resistance on a Bitcoin dominance is the current resistance would be. USDT currently trading at a 5.5%. Obviously Bitcoin is eating some of the dominance from altcoins and including stable coins. Obviously, so yeah, main dominance coming towards the Bitcoin right now. So again, waiting for the breakout out of the falling channel in general on a daily time frame would be pretty nice. So let's move on to the news. It's pretty much all the tea for today. So first news are coming from largest US hedge funds. So 60% of largest US hedge funds holds Bitcoin ETFs, and not a single one sold over the second quarter, and most are still stacking. So you can see the amount of the approximately 25 hedge funds, and none of them sold over the second quarter, which is a bullish thing, extremely bullish thing to have, and it's pretty bullish sentiment. Also on the news, 94% of total Bitcoin supply has been issued. Just 1.2 million Bitcoin remain to be issued over the next 116 years, obviously by the miners that will be mined. So again, because of the halving, amount of the Bitcoin being issued is getting smaller. It's much harder, I mean, to issue them. So for the miners. So there's that again. 94% of total BTC supply was issued again. 6% only has left. Also, the Democratic Party released its platform for election without a single mention of Bitcoin or crypto. Again, we're still waiting on Kamala's stance, but in general, currently we're having like a complete silence, legitimately complete silence when it comes to the crypto or Bitcoin in general. So again, we'll be waiting for her stance, if she's gonna have stance, or it's gonna be a complete silence, which obviously kind of a neutralish thing to have. At least she's not bearish, but still we'll see. Also, BlackRock is accumulating more Bitcoin than MicroStrategy, which is extremely bullish thing to hear, considering that MicroStrategy nowadays is completely all in Bitcoin, and BlackRock, obviously a huge multi-trillion-dollar fund, biggest whale, one of the biggest whale out there, at least public one. So yeah, it's you can see amount of the supply that amount of the holding Bitcoin holders that they holding compared to the MicroStrategy, which is huge. Also on the news, Seychelles approves bill on virtual asset regulations, which kind of they've been forced by to push their law by Financial Action Task Force. So in details, the Seychelles National Assembly has approved a draft bill to regulate virtual asset service providers. So the bill requires license-seeking WASPs to establish a substantial presence in Seychelles, such as having a resident director and office with competent staff. So they're trying to make like a more for all of these like crypto firms and whatnot to look more legit, I guess, or what. But again, it's kind of been pushed by this Financial Action Task Force. Also on the news, China Supreme Court revises anti-money laundering law to include virtual assets. I guess, yeah, crypto is sometimes being used for that purpose, but it is what it is. Also, analysts optimistic as liquidity ticks and Bitcoin forced selling is over. Again, Bitcoin will move closer to all-time highs after the United States election and shift to a pro-liquidity environment, according to analysts. Also, it comes as several analysts notice that global liquidity is starting to surge. Again, it meaning that that some of the liquidity will pour to the Bitcoin, which will be really, really bullish for us. And here's some bullish sentiment that is coming in from CNBC. Again, really good thing to hear. So let's hear it.
How do you explain that disconnect between what gold's doing right now?
Again, he's gonna be talking about the recent sell-offs and the fact that it's apparently over, and obviously we may see the bull run. So let's see.
And the way that Bitcoin's been acting over the last couple of months?
Yeah, so a few factors are at play. One is the unwind of various carry trades and growth, which has been struggling a little bit. And when you look at Bitcoin's correlation with the NASDAQ, it's at a 2-year high. It's well below the highs that we had in kind of late 2022, but it's a 2-year high. The second reason is there are forced sellers in the market. The German government has sold all of its Bitcoin, $2 billion worth. The US government is selling Silk Road related coins. There are two major bankruptcies where creditors have just been paid out. That's Mt. Gox and Genesis. So with all this forced selling behind us, and this is a typical seasonal pattern where Bitcoin tends to struggle in the kind of 1 to 3 months after the halving, which was in April, and right pre-election, as the market comes to grips with whatever candidate wins, we're in for 4 more years of reckless fiscal policy. The history is that Bitcoin really hits its stride at that point. So we're buyers here. We think it recovers.
So can you connect the dots for us right now? Given everything you've said, the AI trade on this particular move is...
Again, pretty bullish things to hear on CNBC especially. So pretty big news company. So yeah, that's pretty much all news and TA for today for the Bitcoin. Obviously, we're gonna be keeping an eye on a falling channel, especially if Bitcoin will continue to trade about the middle of this falling channel. Currently, kind of trading in a range of the middle of this channel, but again, if we're gonna have a breakout out of the middle of it, and maybe having a breakout out of the whole falling channel, which is currently at the top of it's currently sitting at 69k, would be pretty nice for Bitcoin to have to go above 69k, and again testing the new all-time high. So yeah, we're gonna be keeping an eye on that, and to the moon.